Back. Cameras, are we good? Mike. All right, and let's go.
What y'all got?
Come on.
First question.
Every shot.
Why was
did
the
it take us so
process done so secretively? Why was it hard to get the details about what y'all were planning to do?
I don't think it was a secret. We just had a vote. We just had a public vote. I don't think that's a secret. We had to publish it. We followed the rules that the House has done for 250 years or however long that we've been here. So we went through the process. Obviously, we have to be discreet when we're moving forward. I know there are people who would love to attack every single thing that we've done and the way we do it, but we followed the rules and we got it done. And I'm proud of the work that my friend Rodney Willett has done. He took on the mantle of leadership to get this resolution passed today, and we have to go forward. We cannot sit on the sidelines. Virginia cannot afford to sit on the sidelines while Donald Trump tramples on our Constitution. If you notice today when the Republicans are speaking, not one of them said the name Donald Trump. They are so terrified of Donald Trump. They know that he is watching what we are doing in Virginia, and they would not dare cross him. They are so afraid of him. They are so terrified of him that they wouldn't cross him. We had to give the voters of Virginia the option to make a change if they so wanted. That's all we've done today. We preserved the option for voters for it to go to the voters. So we have to take this step. Virginia is not North Carolina. Nobody's complaining that in 9 days, North Carolina voted to change their map, wipe out a whole congressional seat. That's what they've done. They've switched a congressional seat that was held by a Democrat and made it way more Republican, and they did it in 9 days. This process will take us months, and at the end of the day, the voters will have the final word. And I'm comfortable speaking to the voters. And if the voters say no, and the will of the voters in Virginia is that we don't do this, then that's what we'll stand. But I think we have a responsibility right now while Donald Trump is attacking our government, our Constitution. Y'all remember when Barack Obama wore a tan suit? Remember those days when somebody wore a tan suit and everybody lost their mind? This dude has torn down the White House. He is arresting citizens and then sending them to all foreign lands and not finding out their citizens until after the fact. And nobody from the Republican side of the House will say a word. We have a responsibility. We have a responsibility right now to stand up for the voters of Virginia and make sure that their voices are not diminished in our republic here in America. And I'm proud of the fact that we have people like Rodney Willett who will stand up right now in this moment. And one of the things that's so beautiful about this amendment does not benefit us. It doesn't change our lines in the state at all. It doesn't change the House of Delegates lines. It doesn't change the state Senate lines. The only thing that it allows us to do with the will of the people, with the voice of the people telling us, is that we can then redraw those congressional maps in the next few years. That's the only thing, and that will require a majority vote of the voters of Virginia.
If it's wrong in North Carolina, why is it right here?
This has been in the works. So much planning has gone into this.
Well, obviously, Greg, these things take time. And so we've been talking about it. We've been thinking about it. It didn't come to fruition until very, very late. And that's why we're doing it now, because we couldn't afford to wait any longer. We thought about if we did it after next session, then we'd have to wait and have this election in 2028 to impact maps. And by that time, we'd be drawing new maps in 2030. So the fact that it came together so fast with the velocity that it's come forward with is because we saw when North Carolina did what they did, we had ideas on the table, but we were not prepared to move forward. But then when North Carolina said we're redrawing maps, we have no choice. Our backs against the wall. We cannot continue to be spectators while Trump destroys our country. I have a 16-year-old daughter. My daughter's gonna wake up one day as she gets older and she's gonna say, Daddy, in this moment, what did you do? What did you do? How did we get here? And I want her to know that when the time came that we at least gave the Virginia voters an opportunity to stand up. That's all you can ask.
But if it's wrong in North Carolina, why is it right here? Why is it okay here?
I wouldn't say that it's one way or the other. I think we have an opportunity because North Carolina has made a decision to go forward. And I wouldn't frame it your way. I would frame it that Virginia voters deserve to have a voice and not be disenfranchised by North Carolina, by Texas, by Missouri, by Indiana. Virginia voters deserve to stand up and have a say in how they want their representation to be.
Mr. Speaker, did you hear from Hakeem Jeffries or anyone in House leadership in Congress urging you to do this?
I did not hear from anybody urging me to do this. Let me explain something.
To
what y'all need to know about me, all right? There is nothing in my background that says I'm a chump, all right? I did not get here because I'm a chump. I got here through my own work ethic and my hard work. My background, I have come and overcome a lot of adversity. Nobody can run over me. So as much as respect as I have for what's happening in Congress, my first duty is to my neighbors here in Virginia. And that is what I stood up. I heard Hakeem Jeffries or no other voice in this country will overrule the neighbors that I love and support here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that is who I heard from. I heard more from them than any other voice, and that's the voice that we heard to, and that's why we move forward.
But did you speak to Hakeem Jeffries?
I just want to add what the speaker said, that who we're answering to. I'm answering to the voters in my district, who I heard from, who were concerned about what was happening in Washington, what was being done to us by Washington and these other states. And they said, what are you going to do about it? And really the only thing we can do about it is bring this question back to the voters, let them decide, can we do better with these congressional districts, and actually have a response to Washington.
Have you started thinking about maps and the ways to draw issues?
We have so many more steps to go to before we even think about maps. And that's what's so concerning about the conversations that folks are having. We have a long way to go before we can talk about maps, obviously. The first step is to get the amendment in place. The second step is to try to see if we can pass it again in January, if necessary. The Republicans in these other states, they might stand down. And we may decide we don't want to move forward. That can happen. We wanted to make sure that we preserve the option to move forward. That is it. Preserve the option to move forward. We take a look at preserve. If you get anything out of this, preserve the option to move forward. And that's what we've done. We preserve the option to move forward in light of an unprecedented. We have never had a president of the United States who is doing what they are doing now. He has went out to states and said, I need X number of more seats. And nobody's talking about it. Not one Republican on the House came up and said what the president of the United States is doing right now by demanding that they go and redistrict all these states is good. None of them said it's good, none of them said it's bad. They won't even say his name. But now there's a double standard now for Democrats and authority that somehow we have to lay down while Donald Trump seizes power, power that we've never seen, and the Republicans run the play in each and every instance. All we're doing is preserving the option. And everybody's going crazy like, oh, it's done. No, we're preserving the option. We have so many more steps. And the most important step, don't forget this, is that the voters will have the final say in no matter what we do.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You get that mandate from the voters. How are we supposed to believe that there has been a good amount of thought given into the maps? If you're not touching them right now, you're going to have to wait several more months. It's going to be close up until the congressional primaries and the filing deadline. So why not work on the maps now? Otherwise, it's just going to be, people are going to look at the maps and be like, oh, they're just drawing a whole bunch of Democrat seats.
We'll deal with that question when we need to. Obviously, there are people who are looking at everything, but we don't have any definitive maps or anything like that. We don't want to talk about maps right now. But you know everybody. You're not naive. You know there are people who are going to come to us, experts, and tell us, just like we did with the last map. I know y'all are not naive enough to believe that this bipartisan redistricting commission has drawn these maps. That was special masters appointed by the Supreme Court that drew our current state maps. So we know that we're going to eventually end up in some place where we have to have some experts that come in regardless of what we do.
All right, thank you so much, everyone.
you.
Appreciate it.